Welcome to the Shot Clock, everybody. Jeremy Rucker, sports writer, Bleacher Report, number fire, a few different places. Likes to talk about the NBA. That's why we brought him on here. Jason Rubin here. So we just covered our Western Conference predictions for the finals, for the Western Conference Finals, holding ourselves accountable. If you want to take a look at that clip, make sure to click over here. In general, we're going to move forward to the Eastern Conference preseason predictions, like as we mentioned in the other clip, that we hold ourselves accountable here on TYT Sports, because a lot of places don't. And we want to make sure that you guys know how incorrect we were about many of the Eastern Conference picks, and then we'll reset and make some new predictions. So first, Jeremy, let's take a look at who we, TYT Sports team, and Jeremy had as the Eastern Conference predictions.
There it
1,
is.
the Chicago Bulls, 2, Cavs, 3, Bullets, the 4, the Charlotte Hornets.
Look at those Knicks.
Not playing a 4. I wish this was
Look
the
at those
actual
Knicks
Eastern Conference.
in the playoff picture.
I really wish this was true. The one thing I got to give credit to, and Dan, our executive producer, did say this, the Atlanta Hawks would be better than many people expected. Now, that's why we placed them at the 8, not the best team in the NBA with a 48-12 record right now, as literally the best team in the NBA, at least record-wise. So, Jeremy, I'll start with you. Let's walk through what you thought originally in the preseason and how that's changed now.
Well, I mean, one of my biggest predictions, my boldest predictions earlier in the season was I said the Hornets are going to make a difference. I was wrong basically as much as anybody could be wrong. That team has not panned out in the slightest. You could offer a number of reasons why that would be the case.
Would you say it's the Kemba Walker, Al Jefferson mix? Do you say it's a coaching thing? Do you think it's...
You know what? I don't know.
Some things don't click in general, like Lance Stevenson, that big 3?
I think part of it has to be the culture there, because there's a lot of good talent. Al Jefferson has remained a beast. Kemba Walker's good. He's been hurt, but Kemba Walker's great. Lance has kind of disappeared. I don't know what's wrong with that team. I want to stop talking about the Hornets. Let's go back to the standings and kind of figure it out from there. So yeah, earlier in the season, we predicted the Bulls and the Cavs and the Wizards and the Raptors would all be
Bullets. Washington Bullets.
Washington Bullets. Oh, my mistake. The Washington Bullets. Yes, how silly. So we had the Bulls and the Cavs sort of hanging out amongst the top and the best of the Eastern Conference. That has more or less panned out. Obviously, Chicago's season has not turned out quite as we had hoped, kind of like the last 3 years. Woe is me, Derrick Rose out again with the knee injury, and Jimmy Butler's missing some time.
Don't worry, Chicago. Brian Scalabrine will still play point guard if you need him to.
It's true. He's ready.
He's still ready.
He is ready and willing.
Right.
But yeah, so the Bulls are still looking good. You know, the same thing happens year after year. They have injuries, Rose goes down, players goes down, and Thibodeau's team just pulls it together, and they make a difference, and they make a charge in the Eastern Conference, and you're seeing it again. And then with the Cavs, you know, they started real rocky.
Everyone should have expected.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not under 500 per se, but we should expect some growing pains, and I think they've since got it together. LeBron took the 2-week hiatus. To
be general manager.
To be general manager. Maybe he went on some sort of, meditation retreat. Who knows what he did? Rest his knees, rest his mind. Anyway, he's back. He's scary good. The Cavs seem to be gelling together as a team. Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Mozgov were all fantastic pickups now that we look back at it. So the Cavs are definitely pulling their load in the Eastern Conference. And as for the rest of the conference, well, it's kind of what we've come to expect in the Eastern Conference of late. We've got the Pacers are in there now. We were kind of saying they'd be out looking in. The Heat are still in the playoffs somehow.
With a below 450 or 500
I think they're exactly 450. I think they're like right on the nail. And then, we got the Raptors and the Wizards. They started out really strong. They've kind of petered off since.
The Raptors, by the way, through 25 games, were one of the best teams in the NBA, and that's a team I do not believe in at all. I think Kyle Lowry has proven to be more on the overrated side of being a point guard than the underrated side this season, whereas I want to go back to the Western Conference real quick for one point that Mike Conley has become now towards the underrated side than the overrated side. But in general, the Raptors are a team that just I do not believe in. I think they could be very much a one-and-done team in the playoffs. I know Fear the North would be very upset with me if that actually happens, and Drake and all that.
I think it's We the North.
We the North?
They the North, not us.
Right. I'm not part of that we.
Yeah.
We're here in America. But the Bucks, that's a team I want to touch on real quick because the Bucks are a team that I think will be very dangerous. And right now they'd be facing the Washington Bullets as a 6 versus 3. if the playoffs were to start today.
Right.
And of course, many things will change in 20 games. Who knows what will happen? But I love Giannis Antetokounmpo. I love that team. I think the Bucks can be the most dangerous 6 seed to upset the Wizards. Again, I don't know how many people are going to be watching Bucks versus Wizards if that were to happen in the playoffs. I will happily.
We certainly will watch.
Absolutely. I watch the Timberwolves play basketball still.
That's true. And that's why people like us have NBA League Pass.
This is true. Everyone should have NBA League Pass. You can watch everything. But overall, I think people will be surprised when the Bucks show up in the playoffs. And that's a team that neither of us had in our top 8 going into the beginning of the season. But, fear the lank.
Fear the lank.
Giannis can get to the rim from the 3-point line in 3 steps.
I prefer lank the tank.
Lank the tank,
but fear the lank is good. Yeah,
it's not bad either. But overall, it just seemed like everyone definitely had the right idea with the Wizards, Cavs, and the Bulls. They were obviously the 3 most competent teams in the Eastern Conference, and one way or another, they're going to finish in that order.
But as Dan and I said earlier this season, it was more the Cavs and the Bulls at the 1A. And then the Wizards at sort of that distant number 2 spot. And I think that's definitely coming to fruition right now. And back to the Bucks, I also love the Bucks. I love Giannis. I think they have a great young team. But trading Brandon Knight kind of hurt their chances. I know they got MCW. And
Which does not help their chances.
Well, okay, fine. You said it.
It does not. It doesn't. MCW is a stat-padding, overrated player. It's just the truth.
You heard it first here.
It's not the first time that's ever been said.
You heard it again here.
When you watched him last season, yes, he was getting a triple-double. And if all you watched was the ESPN bottom line, all you think is, wow, this guy must be like the most underrated point guard in the NBA. He's going to be a star. He can't shoot. Like, he literally can't shoot.
He also pads his turnover stats along with the rest of the stats.
Can you pad your turnover stats? It just brings me back to when he played at Syracuse, and I really thought when he went into the NBA draft, that's the one thing they were going to be able to fix was his turnovers. He's turnover prone. He's basically Jeremy Lin with better stats, but that's it, just stats.
And he loves getting dunked on.
That's true. This is very, very true. Well, yes, I do agree with the Brandon Knight thing. I like Brandon Knight on the Bucks. I thought he was actually a major piece for the Bucks that could have been very helpful, but he's on the Suns now. The Suns are on the outside looking like they'll still be on the outside, not in. I shouldn't say in because they've kind of fallen apart. I do give that team credit, though. They are a very fun team to watch overall, and they were a major part of the trade deadline this year. So there you have it, our Eastern Conference playoff predictions as we are about 60 games into the NBA season. And make sure to check out our Western Conference predictions. And if you want to see the original Eastern and Western Conference predictions that we were, I'd give ourselves a C- overall, a
solid
C+. Solid
C.
C, solid
It's rounded
C.
out, solid C.
Rounded out. We're not going to...
Boom, right in the middle.
We're not going to pad our predictions, guys, for you guys here. Make sure to check out. It's all going to be in the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe.